Hello again, welcome to today's attempt at the Fibble puzzle. This is Wordle, but there's a liar in every row. So maybe this M is lying, but then should it be green or yellow instead? Or maybe the I, M, other I, or C are lying. We don't know, the only way to find out is to play. So it's auto-populated that first guess, and I'm going to make use of the green I by trying spoil, keeping the I in that position to see if I can learn anything useful. What I have learnt is that the eye has changed colour, so it is lying on at least one of those rows. But of course I don't know which, and it might be lying on both. What should I try next? Let's, for now, guess that the eye is lying twice. So then we've just got an L to use. Let's try large, because that tries some really good letters. The A and the E are always good to bring in. What does that tell us? I mean, maybe the R is lying. It could just be an LE ending. Although, with the letters that I've got left, I'm not sure that's particularly plausible. We would have to use the U somewhere, wouldn't we? We're probably going to have to use the U somewhere either way. We've had a grey A, I and O. What's the other possibility? Maybe this I is not lying. So there is just an I somewhere in the word. Then if the R is lying, we could use the L-I and maybe the S from this row. It could be, I was going to do style, but I suppose that is a possible word, isn't it? I always think of it with a Y, but clearly that is a valid word. And we've learnt something interesting again, haven't we? The E has changed colour. So the E is lying on at least one of those rows. That means that the L is definitely in the word, because if the L was not in the word, it would be lying on both of those rows, and it can't be. So, there probably is an E, and it's probably last, so that's probably the liar, but then it would have to be S-I-L blank E. I'm not sure I like the sound of that, so maybe that E is not lying, which means that that E is lying, which means that we do have an R, we do have an L. I mean, maybe this E is lying as well. Maybe it's, I was going to say swirl, but it can't be swirl. In fact, this E can't be lying, because then the I would have to be second or last, and I cannot think of anything that works. So I think that E can't be lying. So maybe the S is lying, because maybe we didn't have an S up there. We could just go back to this I being the liar. No, because then there wouldn't be a liar on the top row. Maybe the L is lying, because it should actually be green. But then it would be blank. Where is the I going to fit in? That's the biggest problem that I've got so far. I R or R I blank E L? Not sure that fits. So I think some of my assumptions have to be wrong. Let's revisit what we've assumed. If this E is lying, if this E is not lying, then this E is lying. But then we have to fit in the S, I and L before the E. And the I can't be here, so it would have to be second, and we're just running out of options for where all the letters can be. So I think this E has to be wrong, which means we've got an L and an R. So maybe we don't have an I? S L E R? Where would the R go? That's the problem. It doesn't look like the I can be lying either. But it really feels like it wouldn't be fourth. Maybe there's no E. if there's no E at all, then there's got to be an I. Oh, so that means the S would have to be lying up here. So there's definitely an I and an L and an R. That just feels like it can't work either. So maybe it's the S that's lying, which means that we've got an I, an L and an E and an R. We still don't have any of them in the right place. Because it really feels like it should be something like liver, but the L can't be first unless my other assumptions are wrong. Euler? That O could be the liar on that row. We've got to try Euler. What does that tell us? Surely it tells us that the I is lying here. And if the I is lying, that means that the E and the R are in the word. But the E would have to be first or second. The I would have to be last, because that's the only place for it. Blank E-L-R-I or R-E-L blank I. I don't think that can be right. So maybe the I's are lying after all that. It gets really complicated when you've got duplicated letters as well. If there's no I in the word, then this E is telling the truth, which means that this E has to be lying. Which means it's got to be S blank. In fact, the E can't be fourth or fifth, so it would have to be S-E-L-R blank. But that's not a word. So there has to be an I in the word. Oh, what is going on? I could just do another guess that's got most or all of these letters in, like loser, just to see what I can learn, but I don't want to do that. I want to find something that could plausibly be the answer. I think there has to be an I, so I think that has to be lying. Which means that the L's and E's and R's are probably all telling the truth. Except for that one. That's the liar on that row, because it's not last. Could it just be relic? That could be the liar on that row. That could be the liar there. That's the liar there. It's relic, isn't it? Oh, that was a really tricky one. I just never considered that the I on the top row would be the one that was in the right place, and therefore there had to be another liar on that row. That was something I feel like I should have got a bit quicker, because I had most of the letters. I should have considered the IC ending. That threw me a little bit. But I did get there in the end. Only 5 guesses. Definitely a lot slower than I would have liked. Not my quickest by any shout, but not the easiest one. But maybe you did better. So either way, whether you did better or worse, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.